Hey there, vinyl community. It's Joel coming at you from Planet 13, and this is my June and early July vinyl haul. I have a few records to show you, and I say early July because Waxwork Records, which specializes in horror movie soundtracks, they had an Independence Day sale, and there's quite a few records that I snapped up, three in fact, and then I have some albums that I picked up in June. I haven't been making a lot of videos recently once summer hits, and I think a lot of us are like this. Once summer hits, we just want to be outside, and there's a lot of family time to take a hold of and vacation time. And I also picked up another part-time job, so now I have two part-time jobs and a full-time job. So I'm kind of busy, but I am watching a lot of YouTube. I'm watching a lot of your videos, and I tend not to comment because I'm usually commuting or I'm on a break and I'm on my phone, and my phone is Galaxy S3, which is I guess 8 years old now, and it's not that responsive. Trying to type on it is a headache. Anyway, on with the show. I'm just gonna get to the albums that I picked up.
The first album I picked up is the Evil Dead 2 soundtrack by Waxwork Records. Inside you have this pretty cool gatefold, kind of simplistic, but I like it, very moody. And then for comedic effect, you get the severed hand of Ashes giving you the finger. And this also includes an Evil Dead 2 print. And this vinyl comes on like a three-colored vinyl. I actually ordered the yellow vinyl because this one was sold out, but when I got it in the mail, I got this instead, so it was a pleasant surprise. The next album I picked up is the soundtrack to Creepshow 2. It's directed by George A. Romero and written by Stephen King. Stephen King has a starring role in it. I got to meet George Romero about 4 years ago, and it was really cool. He was in my city at a convention. He's a very nice man. I got something signed by him, and he's like, "Hey, you want a selfie with me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And this comes with a little booklet inside, and it's full of reading material, some behind-the-scene pictures and images. Creepshow, it also comes with this nice print. Very simple, but very cool. And the edition I got, it comes on a transparent green with some black overtones to it. And the significance of this color is to reflect the moss that covers Stephen King in his short in the movie. The final album I picked up from Waxwork Records is Don't Look Now. This is a creepy 70s movie starring Donald Sutherland. The graphics on this I just find are quite beautiful, especially this inner gatefold. It's quite complicated, and it kind of reminds me of Edward Gorey, even though it's not really like Edward Gorey. And this comes with a nice print as well. The version I got, it comes on transparent red vinyl. It might not look transparent at first, but I assure you, once you put it on the record player, it is. Another soundtrack I picked up is the remix to an 80s movie called Demons. Only 499 copies were made of this. This is from Rustblade Records. This is just on simple black vinyl. It doesn't really include anything other than the vinyl itself and, of course, the remixes. And then I picked up Demons 2 while I was at it. It was quite affordable. It was at 18 Canadian dollars. And this is again by Rustblade Records. It's a record company that I'm enjoying a lot of their output from. So this has some gory kind of horror poster inside, some graphic images from the film drawn out, and on the back you have some additional posters and some images. So this score is very, I guess I'd call it pop gothic and synthy. Very, it's from the era it belonged in the 80s. And I highly recommend it, although the graphics might turn you off from picking this one up. Next album I got is the score to Halloween, the 2018 version of Halloween 2. I guess this is the third attempt. What I liked about this movie the best was the score, of course, and Jamie Lee Curtis's performance. I wish she had more time in the movie. She was fantastic with her dealing with PSTD, of her being a teenager stalked by Michael Myers 40 years ago. This comes on a split black and orange vinyl, so very Halloweeny, and it is John Carpenter, the original composer and director of the movie, came back and gave this kind of a 2018 update So it sounds very modern, but it kind of maintains that 70s vibe. So from horror scores to the Spice Girls. This is the Spice Girls picture disc. Very pretty looking, but the music on it, the way it's presented, like the sound of it, sounds like garbage. It's very muted. I actually like the Spice Girls. I like a lot of their songs, and I was excited to get this and just, to put on at a party, but I can't. It just sounds terrible. It's the worst sounding record I have, and it does come in some rather cool packaging, but is a bit flimsy. And I think the problem here is that they put too many songs on each side. Side A has 8 tracks, and side B has 7 tracks, and I guess they just compressed it too much or something. I've read a lot of reviews on Amazon giving the same complaints. There is one person who said it sounds good if you have a good system, but really, anyone buying a Spice Girls album probably does not have a top-notch system. It's usually going to be some kid or some woman in her 40s, or 30s and 40s or late 20s or whatever, just wanting to have a good time. What I do like about the packaging though is how the album kind of fits in with the front cover. You can see me here trying to fiddle with it though. It is hard to kind of tweak once you take it out of the packaging. So if you just want to look at it, keep it in its plastic and don't take it out because it comes exactly matched. Next album I got is Kiss Alive 3. I was really happy to get this. I went out of print for the longest time. I couldn't find it in any stores or online, and it reappeared with 3 copies on Amazon, so I picked it up for a little more than I wanted to spend. I bought it for 40 Canadian, and that's just 30 American, so it's not that bad. And there's a lot of songs on here, and it sounds great. This is an album I might even like more than number 1 and 2, and that's because I just kind of grew up with this album. So you see here I have the cassette. I got this cassette the first week it came out, and I got it on the same day where I was seeing the magician David Copperfield in his tour, and this would be back in, 91, 92. So we had some hours to kill before the show, and we're just driving around the city, just playing this album to death, just cranking it loud, driving around the city, eating junk food, and just, loving life. And I kept a few other Kiss cassettes. I had a bunch more that I got rid of, but for some reason I kept Kiss Alive because I never had that on CD. And I kept the Kiss Covers album and Kiss Revenge. Next album I picked up was Rise by Hollywood Vampires. And this album sounds great. It's put out this year. And it's an album that features Johnny Depp, Joe Perry, Alice Cooper, so 3 mega superstars. But I don't think it just doesn't work for me just yet. I might have to give it more of a listen. I read a review where someone just summed it up as dad rock. So instead of rock stars putting in music, it was just like, your average dad kind of fiddling around in the garage. And I would say that describes it. Like nothing jumps out. I do kind of like the cover songs. I like the Heroes cover. I know it doesn't sound anything like Bowie's. Well, it does, but they don't really do anything new with it. But I like it. And the next album I picked up is Speak English or Die by Stormtroopers of Death. This is like an 80s thrash punk album. And one of the megastars in here is Scott Ian from Anthrax. And it's very immature and kind of dumb and thrashy and punky. And it was it was a big inspiration for where Ministry took their sound. So you got some live songs and you got some alternative tracks. And it comes on green and black splattered vinyl. Again, this isn't something anyone would want to rush out and buy. If you're a fan of this band, you already know about them. If not, don't seek it out. And then the final album I picked up is L7, Best of the Slash Years. And this is from Runout Groove. And my only complaint, it doesn't have the song from the Natural Born Killer soundtrack, because I love that song. And this comes on green vinyl, which is quite attractive.
So with the L7 record, I basically want to thank Vinyl Richie and Bill from Michigan Record Club for kind of reinvoking my love for L7. I haven't really thought of L7 since the 90s, and those two have been showing off L7 records quite frequently on their channel. So thank you to those two if you're watching. And otherwise, until next time, have a great day, and I look forward to watching your videos as well. Cheers.